Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David and in this video I'm gonna play a solo game of Coney. This basically plays like a normal game, only two exceptions. I have only 9 rounds to play and I cannot take the same action twice. So let's see how many points I can score. To keep track of the number of rounds I have played, I will use this die, although it's not included in the game itself. And to start the game I will get 6 cards. Normally you will get 5 cards. Pick one and then hand the remaining cards to the left neighbor. So you're gonna draft the cards until everyone has 4 cards and then you discard the final card. Because I have no one to draft with, I will get 6 cards and I can keep 4 of those. In a multiplayer game, the game will end when the player has put a grid in front of him of 3 by 3. I don't think that's possible to achieve in a solo game, but we're gonna play down as many cards as possible in order to score points. Rabbits can have any number of colors. They are male or female. Points at the end of the game and the cost the resources we need to play this card in front of us. Sorry, the cards are in Dutch, but this one doesn't want to be next to an orange rabbit. This one doesn't want to be next to a male rabbit. This one doesn't want to be next to a orange or black rabbit. So each rabbit has his own requirement to be able to put on the table. All cards will give you something should you sell them. And you sell them when you've played them already in your grid and then want to get rid of them. Some cards will give victory points at the end of the game. Some cards will give you a bonus when you play the cards. And some will give you income during the income phase, the growth phase. And those income cards also have this symbol. And there are 3 different shop symbols. If you manage to score 3 of the same shop symbols in your grid, you will score bonus points. And you will score more bonus points if you get 4 or 5 of them. So it might be an option to try to get them. But since we only have 9 turns, I'm gonna try to play as many cheap cards as possible. So I'm definitely gonna keep these 2 because they only require 1 resource to score. Maybe this one because it's 2 resources, but 1 resource can be any of the 3. And for the 4th card, I'm just gonna keep maybe this one. So these get discarded. I will put the 3 top cards on the market, so I can take them when taking cards. They're all quite expensive, 2 resources, and I don't start empty-handed. I will get 1 resource of each type to start the game with. So ready to go for my first turn. There are 3 actions to choose from, and in a solo game I cannot take the same action twice. First action is hand management. I can discard cards I don't want. Then I can refill my hand up to 4. Then I can put cards into my reserve. I can have at most 2 cards in my reserve, cards that are not put in the grid yet, but I can play them later on. And then again I am allowed to refill my hand up to 4 cards. And finally take 2 resources of my choice. So that's the first action I can do. The second action I can do is playing the cards. Before playing the cards I have the possibility of selling the cards I have already played in previous rounds. And then I can place a maximum of 2 rabbits into my grid. That can be either cards from my hand or the ones I have reserved. By the way, if I have reserved cards at the end of the game, they will score 2 negative points each. Then I have to discard my hand down to 4 cards if I have more cards, because maybe I sold some rabbits that let me draw cards. And the third action is the growth action. Then I can activate all rabbits that has the grow option. This will give me either cards and or resources. And also some cards will give you points at the end of the game for each resource on them. During this growth phase, you are allowed to put one of those required resources from your own supply onto that card, so you can score the point at the end of the game. And again, you will have to discard down to 4 cards should you get more cards in your hand by that time. So let's see if we can play some cards. I would say the 2 cheapest ones, but this one doesn't want to be next to a male, and this one is a male and doesn't want to be next to a orange rabbit. So I cannot play them adjacent, but I am allowed to play them like this. Diagonally it's okay if they don't match. Although this one says when playing this card, immediately place 1 resource on another card. So maybe I want to place this card first because this will give me 1 point for each green resource on it at the end of the game. Maybe we can match these two, or we can play this later in the game. This one doesn't want to be next to an orange or black rabbit, and this is a black rabbit. So maybe we can put it like this. So now I need to pay 1 resource of this. This one requires 1 carrot and 1 of my choice, so my final resource would be this one. This one will score 2 points, this one will score 1 point, but also this one will score 1 victory point for each green resource on this card at the end of the game. And this one will give me 2 resources of my choice during the growth phase. By the way, my aim of the game is to score as many points as possible, although the rulebook tells me that I need to score at least 10 up to 18 points, and then I still have a lot to learn. And when I score 19 up to 27 points, I've done a nice job. 28 points or more would score me an excellent score, but I think I'm going to get stuck somewhere between 10 and 80 points, but let's see how far we'll get. So I've played at maximum 2 cards, so that's the end of the first round, and now we're going to round number 2. I cannot do the same action again, so I can't play rabbits anymore, but that's okay because I don't have the resources to play them. So I can choose to take the growth phase. Then I can activate all rabbits that has the growth on them. In this case, this one would say take 2 resources of my choice. But I can also take the refill action, because then I also get 2 resources and I get new cards. And before I take new cards, I can choose to discard any cards I don't want. But I think I'd like to keep both. Now I can refill my hand up to 4 cards. And I can take either a card from the open offer or I can draw a card. So I think I'm gonna take this card. It doesn't want to be next to a male, so we have to put it on the corner of this one again. Or maybe next to this rabbit. And when taking the growth action, we will get 2 resources of our choice, 2 different ones. And the other card I'm going to draw from the deck. And it will give me also a growth card, taking 1 resources and 1 card. So I need a lot of green resources and some of the yellow ones. Although I can put cards in reserve first, but let's go for the cards we have. Now I can take 2 resources of my choice. So when we want to build this rabbit, we need 1 of this. Although maybe we want to play a card that gives us income during the growth phase, which are all 3 of them. So let's play this one in the next turn, so I need another one of this. Yes, that's it. Then we refill the offer with another rabbit, cost 2. Then we're up to round number 3. I'm gonna play this rabbit as my action. If I want, I can sell any of these cards, but I don't want that. So this turn I'll only play 1 rabbit, and it doesn't want to be next to a male rabbit. So I cannot place it adjacent to this card. But I think this will be the center card of our grid, so I'll put this one over here. I cannot place it next to this rabbit, because this rabbit doesn't want to be next to a orange and or black rabbit. Realizing I have also a problem because all these rabbits don't want to be next to a male rabbit. Oh wait, this one wants to be next to at most 1 male rabbit and at least 1 gray rabbit. So we could put this one over here in a later turn. But for now I'm gonna play this one. That will cost me 2 resources. And that's all I can do. So already we're going to phase number 4, round number 4. Again, I'm out of resources. And I need a lot of resources to play these animals. So I'm going to go for the 3rd possible action, and that is the growth, the income phase. Because this rabbit lets me get 2 resources of my choice, but they have to be 2 different ones. So let's take the yellow and the green one. And this one lets me take 2 resources of my choice, and those can be the same ones. So let's go for the carrot, then we can play this rabbit, and this one only needs one green. Although, can we play this card? Yes, we can put it over here or over here. Although, at the end of this phase, I can put one of the green resources on this rabbit, because that will score me 1 point at the end of the game. Although that does mean we cannot play this rabbit the next turn, but let's do so. So at the end of the growth phase, you are allowed to put one resources out of your own supply onto rabbits that score you points for resources on them, and this one will score me 1 victory point for each green resource on this card. So that's 1 point already. So at the moment we're at 3, 5, 6 points already. Then we go to phase number 5, round number 5. Let's see if we can play some more rabbits. And this one is really nice, so I'll suggest we take the refill action. First I can discard any card I don't want, but I think they're all really okay. So I can take one card from the draw pile. Now I have the option to put cards into reserve, and maybe let's put this one into reserve just for now. So now I can refill my hand up again up to 4. I need to play this card before the end of the game in order to prevent getting 2 negative points. And now I can take again 2 resources of my choice. Well, we said we're gonna build this rabbit. And if we want to play also this rabbit, we need at least another green. And we like green because we can put it on this rabbit. But we also need a lot of these resources. So I'll try to take one of these already. Now I'm gonna take the green one because I will get the bonus of playing a resource on a card. I need that for this card. So that's it. So again, that was the round up to round number 6. And we only have 9 rounds to play. Now we're gonna play rabbits. We're gonna play this one because it wants to be adjacent to at most 1 male rabbit and at least 1 gray rabbit. So if we put it over here, it's adjacent to only 1 male rabbit and it's adjacent to at least 1 gray rabbit. All 3 of them are gray, which is still fine. This one doesn't want to be next to an orange and black rabbit, and this one doesn't want to be next to a male rabbit. And also during the growth phase, this one will give me 2 resources, 2 different resources of my choice, and I will get to draw 1 card. And then we're going to play this card. Of course I need to pay the resources, sorry, 1 of each. For this card I need to pay 1 green resources. It doesn't want to be next to a male, so I have to put it over here or over here. And this one says immediately place 1 resources on 1 card. Well, the only card that has use for resources is this one. It has to be a resource of my own supply, so I'll take this one and put it over here because it will score me 1 victory point at the end of the game. Up to round number 7. So this is really a fast game when playing solo. And in a multiplayer game it might be more beneficial to now and then sell a rabbit card in order to place better cards on them. But since we're only playing 9 rounds, I'll just try to get as many rabbits out as possible. I think we only have 1 more time to play rabbits, because first I need to get resources and then I can take in round 8 I can play cards, but then in the 9th round I cannot play cards anymore, only gather resources. So round 7 and 8 I'm gonna gather resources in order to play some expensive rabbits, I think. These 2 don't want to be next to a male rabbit, so I can only put them over here. So maybe let's try this one over here, although this one needs to be to at least 1 brown rabbit. So in order to place this rabbit over here, I need to get a brown rabbit over here. And therefore we could use this rabbit or this rabbit, although this rabbit doesn't want to be next to a male. So we couldn't put it over here. So let's take this one. So I'm gonna draw cards for this round in order to play this card. That also means we're not gonna play these cards, so I'm gonna discard them anyway. Refill my hand up to 4. And I'll take 1 rabbit because I know I can place this one, or maybe we get something better. This is a wild rabbit. You can put it to any rabbit besides next to another wild rabbit. And this one will score me 1 point for each set of 2 females. So that would be worth already 2 points. So that's very interesting. This one we can also place. This one also. I think we can place all of them. But we want to play this one because it's worth 3 points and it allows to put another resource on this card. And we need to find a card that we can put on either side of it. And then see what will score the most points. This is also a male and we need to put a brown rabbit on that place. But we can also place the Joker card because that also counts as brown. So either this card or this card has to be next to this one. And we need to place one of these first before we can play this one. Because this one needs to be at least next to one brown rabbit. We can play this one over here. That would score us 2 cards. 2 points. And if we place this one over here, we also, it's both 2 points. So it doesn't really matter which one we put. This one lets us draw a card and a resource when we play the card. So it doesn't matter which of these 2 we play. This one we cannot play because this one doesn't want to be next to an orange rabbit. And I don't want to reserve cards, so this is it. Now I can take 2 resources of my choice. So we need to play this one, and well, if we play this one we can pick a green one and a one of our choice. So I'll take 2 green ones. For the 8th round we're gonna go to the growth phase because I want to get resources. This one will get me 2 different resources and 1 card. So we need another one of this. And maybe this one. And we can take a card. Oh, at the end of the phase I had to refill this offer. So here's another wild rabbit. But this one doesn't score any points. So the card I'm gonna take is this one. This one is also allowed next to, no, it needed to be a brown rabbit. It doesn't matter which one of the 2 we place over there. Although this one we can also play over here. And then this one over here. Oh no, there needs to be a brown rabbit next to this one. So let's stick to the plan. Then this one will let us score 2 different resources. So we need one of these. And I'm just going to take another one of the green ones. So we can put it on that card. And this one says 2 of the same resources. I'm going to take 2 of them again. That's all we need. By the way, during the game you're also allowed to always pay for 2 resources as a wild. In case you needed another resource. At the end of this phase I can put 1 resource out of my supply onto cards that score points for them. But that is still only this rabbit, although we already have 3 points on that card now. Very nice. And then we need to discard because now we have more than 4 cards in our hand. So I'll simply discard this one, I guess. And now we're going to the final round, round number 9. We're gonna play 2 more rabbits. First, this one over here. This one doesn't want to be next to a male rabbit, so I'll put it over here. And when playing this card, place 1 resource on 1 card. So I'll put another green resource on this card. Of course I have to pay the resources to play the rabbit. And the second rabbit we're gonna play. Oh, oops. When I play this card, it doesn't want to be next to a male, but it has to be at least to 1 brown rabbit. So I play it the wrong way. First I need to play another card. That can be discard or discard. This one is worth 2 points. This one will be worth 2 points, so it doesn't really matter. I'll take this one. I'll play this one. For the cost of one of these plus one of my choice, so 2 of them. And then I play this card next to it. And then it's time to do the final scoring. I will score 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 12 points for my rabbits. Only this one gives me extra points for each resource, so 4 resources is 16. These all don't score extra points at the end of the game. I would score 1 point for each 3 resources I have left, but I have only 1 resource left, so no extra points. And I don't get a penalty because I don't have any reserved cards left. So 16 is my score. I needed 19 points to do a good job. In this case, 10 to 18 points. I still have a lot to learn. So I guess anytime I have to play this again and see if I can score to at least 19 points. If you have any questions about this solo version or Coney in general, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. My name is David, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.